I want you to play my records on your hardest day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before you put that on your hardest day.
Do you feel like people in general, like listeners, music consumers, do you think that they're taking the approach of how you're trying to present the music? Are they taking it the way you're intending for them to take it?
I would say my music is gonna resonate for those that it was created for.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You know, the other people that
Perfect.
are just surface thinkers, it's not gonna register probably until time, until they grow.
Until they grow, exactly. No, he's right on the button. Is that you get to a certain point where it's like, I'm not going to complain about music. I'm just going to make the music that I want to hear, right? And what I want to talk to you about is like, I'm at the point now where it's like, I don't like to use the term rapper for myself. First of all, I'm not consistent at it. Second of all, I'm a lyricist, right? I deal in words on how to cultivate them, put them together, and I'm always trying to make them better. You know what I'm saying? So they can resonate differently. Rapper doesn't do that for me because it doesn't translate. As a lyricist, it translates to everything else that I do is trying to master words. So I like to refer to myself, and that is only for a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
Whenever I do something, to be completely honest, I really only give a fuck about the opinion of like 14 people.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Whoever likes it, cool. Great. Some people are thrown into it.
Those are core people that you really value.
Dog, at
what they
this
have to
point,
say.
I only want to master words. I want to say something that means something. And I know that that's not what masses want to hear. And I'm not even making it for them. I'm making it for not even like-minded minds, but curious minds or people who are more akin to liking words.
Yeah. Or willing to dissect what you're presenting.
I'm not mad at everybody for not, there's genres, vibe, trap. There's different genres to people listen to music differently. For my generation, we listen for the combination of melody, words, beat, words. But words is the integral part of that stuff. I'm a lyricist, so whatever I do is going to be message heavy. And I want to create some shit that doesn't exist yet. And normally when something that doesn't exist yet comes, you always get a negative reaction to it. Because they don't got a point of reference. You know what I'm saying? Now, later on, as time goes by, they'll go, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Bro.
But if you want to introduce something, they not going to get it at first. You just got to have the fucking nuts to do it.
That's so crazy you say that, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so
I know you know.
crazy you say
I
that.
know you know.
Bro, literally, so Nicodemus and Nilo. Like Nicodemus told me, like, bro, I don't know if you know it or not, but what you're doing right now, the sound you're making doesn't exist. He literally told me that about this fucking tape.
Yeah.
Nilo, you know Nilo. I mean, he was mastering the tape. He mastered the entire tape. He was saying, like, I can't identify this with anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that people may take and may be like, what the fuck is this?
That's okay.
But I'm trying to make records for the future. I don't give a fuck about right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I call my shit Doomsday Era for a reason. I make it for them. And I'm a lyricist. I'm an MC. I'm a purist to the fucking core. And
we know.
I stand on it. You know
we know.
We definitely know about
shit.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, bro, the fact that you have the same state of mind, it makes so much sense why I call this man comrade. You know what I'm saying? Because we right there.
Yep.
We right there.
And always have been.
The thing, too, is the idea that, like, for example, you know how every so often you have people who say, you know, like they want to express their top 5 people or their listings and things of that sort, right? And of course, I've been asked these questions before.
Right.
And my response to them is always something like where, you know, it depends on what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And I was like, because you can have a list, but you got to also let it be known that this is just my perspective, you know, or my favorites at the time. Because if you're asking me who got the best pen in the city that I know of,
it's a different list.
I have a certain top 5 for that.
Yeah.
Same thing with records.
You're right.
The best lyricists and the best pens that I know might not be in the top 5 best songwriters, you know, or
artists.
Yeah, artists in general. I think there's a big difference. You know, you got to categorize it the right way.
if I bring up, okay, let's talk about who's the best, like ability wise. If there's another separate list, if it's a totally different list, I'm probably not going to react to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If anybody talks to me like in this city, yo, you got to list the best artists. If I'm leaving out Khalid, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're wrong. You know what I'm saying? You got to be completely honest. So anybody that makes that list and you want to try to lead them out, you're wrong based on movement and success and all of that, longevity and all of that. You're wrong. If you're talking about lyricists and stuff like that, and that's a separate list, I'm not even going to react to a list at all.
Yeah, and I think this goes back to like, all of us have definitely been involved in debates when it comes to music and expectations of music and standards, and the list goes on, right? And of course, sometimes the arguments have gotten heated. I think me and you have had a handful of them. And, and I'm like, but there's different, like where I'm coming from, I don't consider myself a rapper either because I don't do it currently. That'd be disrespectful to people who really every day doing this shit, right? And I'm like, I have a history of it? Yeah, but I don't do it currently. But I will say that, like, because of my experience, I have a different kind of view than the average consumer, in my opinion.
Right.
So whenever you're asking me, like, about certain people's sound, of course, I'm be like, well, I can understand, what they're trying to present, whether we like it or not. It might not be for us, but I can see why the masses like it, and, just like a lot of mainstream music, we probably don't care for, it's not always to our liking. But I can see why the masses like it because look what it does to people in certain settings.
Right.
You got songs for weddings that are mandatory. That creates the energy for a wedding. You got the music for the clubs, the music for the lounges, the jazz bars. Like these things,
but that comes down to why reasons matter. What's your reason? That matters to me. Mm-hmm. My reason is different. I didn't learn to speak English till I was 8 years old, and I learned via hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to play my records on your hardest day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before you put that on your hardest day.
Yeah.
And when you hit in the gym, pushing your body to physical, I want you to throw my shit on.
Yeah.
For real. When you want to pound your chest,
that's what you should want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's really, my reason is to be the greatest I could be. And I gauge myself to those that I grew up admiring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if I could bang with them, I feel comfortable banging with anyone. And that's just how I perceive that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I look at it like, I break it down like this. Like I said, difference between rap and lyricism is like there's no age or time limit. Anytime I decide to turn, because I mastered it, right?
Yeah.
If I know how to make fire, when electricity goes out, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
At any point in time, I could just make fire.
Make light.
But for a lot of people, if an EMP hits and you no longer have access to electricity, you're fucked. I'm not fucked. I can make fire because I have the ability at any point in time. It's a difference between lights.
Yeah.
See, but the beauty of what you got going on, you tapped into something that's even higher than an MC. You tapped into poetry.
Right.
Hip hop, rapper, all that shit.
Yeah.
You're restricted to 16s, 24s,
fucking
BPMs, tempos, drums, patterns, all that shit. You take all that away, you're getting raw, unadulterated poetry. And that is where the fucking truth is. That's where the future is.
No, he's completely right. When I tried to explain to people when I was doing the poetry book, it was like, after a while, I'm trapped behind bars.
Right.
Because I've got to fit that beat, which means I got to cut my insight. I got to cut my wisdom and my message for the 16.
Yeah.
I just got to cut. And by this point, I'm growing so much, I don't want to cut shit no more.
Yeah.
So I got to get away from beats and stuff like that. I had to get away from that because I can't express myself purely and freely now no more because I'm trapped behind these bars. Plus, I got to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
For you to really fuck with me, I also got to sound, I got to be cool or you won't even listen to me.
Yeah, I got to look apart, like.
After a while. And then once I got that shit off, I felt comfortable going back to, now you level up a little bit. Now I can kind of do that on the beat.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when you look at like a young Jay-Z and he was the itty, he was doing all sorts of crazy shit. When you look at Eminem, when he first came out, he was doing all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Now look at them in their early 30s. They just said it simply.
Yeah.
They used to rap circles to say nothing. Now I can just say the line simply and hit you deeply. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.